Hello and welcome back to another custom boot rack of the week. In this week's episode, it features our Houston green leathers, red stitching undertones and our new Bronco leather. So let's dive straight into it. Our first boot on the custom rack this week is a Stockman in our ASHM last, giving it that more formal, narrow fitting feel. This boot is done up in our MTT suede leather and is paired with a falcon sole. Having a look at the midsole, and because this boot is double leather lined, it makes use of a leather lasting board and a leather midsole with our black resin runner. Another important feature that is not seen to the eye is that this pair of Stockmans does possess a thermoplastic toe puff, giving the toe a little bit more structure on the days out. Some further added features to this spec is that it makes use of a brown upper stitching and a number 10 black stitch all the way around the boot. Another point is that this boot does not have a branded sidewinder, and the customer has opted to add a leather pull loop at the back of this boot for easy application in and out the field. This pair of Stockmans is off to Norwalk, Connecticut. The next boot on our custom rack this week, and a familiar favorite to the customs line, is the African Ranger done in our gym green brown leather, which is paired with the Tayo wedge sole. Another great spec for this custom pair that might not be seen to the naked eye, but this customer has gone for the gym green last on this pair, rather than the steel toe cap STC last. Some more unseen specs to this boot is that it possesses a thermoplastic toe puff underneath the genuine leather toe cap, meaning that there is lots of structure around the toe cap of this boot, so when this customer is heading down the trails and kicking rocks, it's going to put up a good fight. Another great spec choice that we are huge fans of here in the Gym Green factory is the red stitching paired with our Gym Green brown leather upper. And then our final spec to dive into for this boot is that this customer has opted for a leather pull loop at the back of their African Rangers for easier application and taking off on the longer days out. These African Rangers are off to Rhino, Virginia. Our third boot this week, and a rather interesting one, is our steel toe cap Turbo Felly in a Bronco brown material with the falcon sole. Just as our previous boots featured, this customer has also opted for a leather midsole with a leather lasting board, as an important note for this custom pair is that it is double lasted, meaning that there are 2 layers of leather surrounding this customer's foot along with the steel toe cap in the toe area. Putting 2 and 2 together means that this boot is built up on our STC steel toe cap last. Just like our previous pair of African Rangers, this customer has also opted for the red upper stitching, although they have opted for the black number 10 stitch all the way around the boot. Moving back to the upper stitching, we can see just how this red stitching pairs well with the brown leathers that we have on offer here at the Gym Green factory. This pair of Turbo Fellys is off to Azle, Texas, USA. Our fourth and final boot this week is a Barefoot shoelie in our Houston green material with the anvil sole. Leather midsoles seem to be the popular choice this week because this customer has also gone with a leather midsole and resin runner for their Barefoot build. Continuing with the Barefoot spec, this customer has obviously opted for no steel shank in this pair and no thermoplastic toe puff in the toe. Being a Barefoot boot, this custom spec is made up on our zero drop last. Being Gym Green Footwear, we are obviously huge fans of this custom spec with all the green tones sprinkled around the boot, from our traditional green laces to the olive stitching on the upper and the Houston green leathers used on the upper of this boot. This pair of boots is off to Salem, Virginia, USA. Thank you everyone for tuning in once again to another custom boot rack of the week. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button to our channel, like this video, and drop a comment down below which one of the 4 pairs we featured today is your favorite and why. Until the next time, enjoy the gym green journeys ahead, and we'll see you on the next episode.